Hello, sweet friends. Welcome to my home. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is a place where my love of cross stitch and antiques and making pretty things come alive. And so, if this is your first time here, welcome. If you are one of my friends that I have met in person or had the opportunity to sit and chat with, I'm so thankful you're here. I love spending time with you. And so, in my floss tube, like in my mind, I envision that we're sitting together in super cozy chairs, and we've got our favorite cross stitch project, or maybe even a cross stitch project we're currently working on, in our lap, and we are surrounded by antique finds and our favorite things. And so I want you to get cozy and let's chat. Before I get too far into this video, I'm going to try not to clap because Okay, so before I get too far into this video, I'm going to let you know I'm going to hold my phone in my hand and I am going to go over notes. This is not going to be a normal cross stitch hangout session, show and tell, whatever you want to call it, because I've not had a lot of time to cross stitch, and I'll tell you why. So first things first, we're going to do a life update. So those of you that know me in real life, know where I live, know that and I know that it's not just like Texas news, it's world news, the floods that happened here in Central Texas. I live just a little bit more west than Hunt and Kerr County, which Hunt is in Kerr County, but Kerrville, Hunt, those areas that were affected by the floods, before it made it that far, it stopped in San Angelo, Texas. So if you know me, you know that's where I live. And I was out of town for 4th of July weekend, and of course, we all started seeing the news coming in about the floods. I woke up to a ton of information and not really knowing what to do with it, right? Like you're sitting there trying to, grapple with everything that's happening, seeing the videos, seeing the pictures in front of you, not knowing what's going on at your house. So I called my neighbor, and he let me know it had rained on our side of town. So in a lot of those videos that you were witnessing online in national news is the area that I live in, and it is kind of like a floodplain. So it's like there's low-lying areas in my city, and that it's kind of downhill. And so the part where you see that bridge I think it's 14 and a half feet high, and the water was almost to the top of that bridge, that is the area of town that my church is in. So I was looking at that, knowing where all these videos are taking place, and I'm sitting there just praying, right? Like, I don't know what else to do. And so I got off the phone. I called my neighbor that lives across the street. Now, he's 88 years old, so I knew he was not going to be able to go outside and come to my house, nor did I expect him to, and check it out. But I said, hey, will you do me a favor and peek over to my yard or to my house and let me know what's going on? And basically he said, on the east side, you've got, several inches of water coming up. But I think it's going to be okay. And I just sat there and I thought, you have zero control over whatever's fixing to happen. So I have two choices at that moment. I can choose to let it consume every thought, or I can choose to just take those thoughts captive and understand that no matter what happens, I have zero control over anything but my attitude and how I perceive what's going on. So I just made a decision that we were going to have a good day. I had gone up there to meet my husband, and we have one son and his fiance, almost fiance, I guess. They're fixing to get engaged, I think. But seeing them, and then my other daughter that has Amelia was going to get to go. One of my children wasn't going to be able to go. But we were all going to meet. The plan was we were going to go up there. We were going to watch fireworks. We were going to go shopping. We were going to have, good food and just spend time with family. So I just made that decision that no matter what happens at home, I'm choosing to embrace the moment and just find joy in the right now. I will face whatever I'm going to face tomorrow, but I'm not borrowing trouble for things I can't control. So, after that happened, I was getting calls from several people in our town. They were saying, shelter in place, do not leave your home. There were people that were on the news that were saying, the floods were rising in their homes, and so I just really didn't know what I was going to come home to. But that day we had a wonderful 4th of July. I was able to go to an antique shop in Dallas. I think it was actually in Frisco or McKinney. I can't remember. And it was like a 2-story. It was very nice. I think it was in McKinney, actually. A 2-story antique shop. So we got to go tinker in there, and everybody went in, everybody enjoyed it. I really don't think there's a time that you walk in an antique shop and you can't find something that brings you joy. Or at least that's how I feel. I don't know. I have one daughter that wasn't there. That's my minimalist that would say, Mom, you don't need this stuff. And I'm like, be a minimalist at your house. I like my stuff. Okay, so as far as my community and friends and people who have been involved. Oh, wait. I can't finish this. I have to finish the story. Sorry, squirrel. So I'm going to fast forward to when I finally was able to make it home. I pulled up, and all I could see was like debris that had been up against my fence. It didn't appear as any water had come into the house. So I came in, there was zero water damage. The water didn't even make it up to my porch, which was another perspective change for me. I'm telling y'all, I think just a little bit of information can change our view and our attitude on so many things. And so what I will say is this: I have a humongous step that you have to take to get up on my porch. It's probably about 16 inches, 17 inches up, and then there is another 1-foot step to get into my front door. So this house was built on pier and beams. I complain about that step because when I'm in my high heels and I'm going to church, I always have this fear of like stepping off of that step and falling because I twist my ankle or something. I'm getting older, so all these things go through my mind. It hurts to fall now. So anyways, I came in and I sat here and I just began to think about the goodness of God. And so I will say this: I've had a lot of emotions because across the street from me, literally, my neighbor had to cut her carpet out. It was rolled up. She had furniture on the front lawn. And that's what the city had asked us to do is, oh my goodness, I can't make it through one video, y'all. So the city had asked everybody that their houses had been flooded. Hold, please. Okay, y'all know Bentley has to make his appearance in all of my videos. So basically, all the way up and down my street, my neighbors have furniture sitting outside, carpet that had been cut out, all of their clothing. They were literally in feet of water. So everything was out of their homes. And I will say I came home 2 days later. So on the third evening is when I was gone. Um, Friday is when the storm happened. Saturday, Thursday. Oh my goodness. It doesn't matter. A couple of days later. And so, my neighbors up and down my street, everything was out. They have their doors and windows open, big, humongous fans blowing on their flooring, on their walls. There were people that have ripped out all of their insulation and the walls, and it's just piled. Like, it looks terrible. Now, the city's saying they're going to come by and they're going to pick it up, and I'm sure they're doing it section by section. I'm not familiar. And so I was just, of course, got on the phone, was checking on different friends. And one lady in our church, her home had been flooded and it affected 2 full rooms of theirs. Now, one of the room was, I don't know if everything is a total loss, but it was pretty bad. And then her husband is, he has a lot of health problems, and they've sent him home on hospice to just wait until he passes away. And so all of his like diapers, because they're an older couple, and so he's bedridden now because he just got out of the hospital, and like all of that personal care stuff, everything was in that bathroom, and it was completely lost. So and then I only have a couple of other people that I know that lost quite a bit, or lost things. Some of them were able to recover stuff. Other ones just, literally about 2 miles from me, lost everything. It's surreal. So I will say, I went to church that Sunday, and my pastor said, I want to show you a video. And I said, okay. And he said, I want to show you just down the road well, first of all, he asked me, like, how's your house? What's going on? And I said, I have 0 damage. Like, you can see where the water was rushing through my fence, and there's like debris and sticks and stuff stuck to my fence. Other than that, I have nothing that happened. And he said, I want to show you a video that's going to blow your mind. And so just up the road from my house, less than a half a mile, there is a restaurant, and the water is standing 3/4 of the way to the top of the restaurant. And I've told everybody, like, I've sat with gratitude and grief this week. Gratitude because I still have all of my stuff, but yet grieving. There's been so many people that have lost things, life, their babies are not going to be in their arms. And there's a new normal to them, and they're grieving. And, I don't think when you're in a community and people and you see the news, that doesn't impact you in some way. And I think maybe the older you get, the more you realize what's valuable and what's not. And have a precious friend, Hannah, that lives in Louisiana, and she messaged me to check on me. And she said, things are things, Tammy. Like, if you get home and you've lost it all, it's just stuff. Like, if you have family, that's all that matters. Like, the people, the things are nothing. Anyways, so, oh my word, I lost my phone, and how am I going to go over my notes? What did I do with it? Y'all, oh, here it is. Jesus. It's been like this, y'all. Okay. So I would say I'm safe. I'm okay. We know of several people in our community. One of the guys I go to church with, he is a teacher, and one of his students, their family lost everything. It was a family of 2 children and then parents. So I think a family of 4 or 5 were there. They lost everything, and so we've reached out to them. I have a wonderful friend that reached out to me because Kerr County has so many resources. Money has gone to them, and so she reached out to me, and I suppose she had been in contact with somebody over there, and she said, what can I do in your area? Like people that I can help that you directly know. And so I was able to get some information to get sent to her. And her community, she owns a quilting store. Her community is amazing. And just one lady donated 35 quilts, handmade quilts that she's gifting. And so I love the community that we have that is just so kind and generous and loving. And so, Carrie, if you're watching, thank you. Okay, so moving on from that, I want to talk about what I have done to take up all of my time. So I will say I am not going to have stitching at all in this video. Hence, everybody's talking in July, my current whips, I'm doing Christmas, I'm doing, I think Holly, Mrs. Jones Stitches, done a whip parade. I don't have the brain width to do all of that right now, and I'm sorry, but this is life. There's ebbs and flows, and sometimes I'm just not feeling creative, or I can't wrap my mind around just focusing on something like that. And so there's other things that I'm doing, and I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. So I want to talk about antique shopping and antique finds. So the first thing I want to talk about is on the way to the DFW area, Destiny and I, we were going through this little bitty tiny town, and we came to this stoplight, and right there was an antique shop, and I was like, you want to go? And she's like, yeah. So we stopped, and I got two treasures. One of them, my mind was blown, and then the price that I paid, I was just blown away. So we walk in, and it was horrendous. Like, if you go to an antique shop, like there's some that are very organized. There's others you go into and it's like treasure hunting. This was one of those. So this beautiful purse was like in a pile on this table. It was like a long table. And I was like, how much do you want for this? He's like, I don't know, $12. Look at it. Is it not fantastic? So I'm sitting there, and I opened the Google Lens, and I was like, how gorgeous is this? What is this? What is it worth? When was it made? All the things. And so the information I got back is it's between the 18 and the 1900s. I don't know, because I'm not that good into antique shopping. I just know what I love and what I don't. Anyways, the patina of this, the clasp, it still works. Well, if I close it right, it still works perfectly. The leather detail in this is gorgeous. And if you know me, I just love stuff like this. I don't know. The things call to me. I just know when I see them what I want and how I can display them and how I can use them. And I was talking to Megan from the Seattle Stitcher yesterday on Instagram, and we were talking, and I think you either have a gift of being able to put colors together and, displays together, or you don't. You either have it or you don't. I don't know. It comes naturally to me. I see things, and immediately my brain just starts putting stuff together. So when I seen that, I can see it in a gorgeous display piece. I have a cloche that I thought it was going to fit in. It's not going to, but I may get a larger cloche that will house that, because I do want it protected, but I want it displayed as well. And then the other thing that I got was this pocket watch. I'm into these right now. I'm going to have some really fun finishes. And my plan is to do something really, really fun and neat in here. So my thought was to bring my love for eclectic things and stitching together in a couple of these watches and have them displayed. I think that'll be super fun. I just looked up and seen that. Look. Y'all, I am a mess. And you're sitting here listening to me, so you must like it too. Okay, let me see where I'm at in this. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that purse. I wanted to talk about these Burger baskets. I got two, and they are beautiful. Now, it's Shelly's fault. Shelly Fry from Antique Needleworkers. I didn't even know what these baskets were. I knew nothing about it. But her and the girls went and got some the other day. Carrie of Tiger Lily Designs. They went and got some. I'm like, yes, I need some of those too. I don't know why. But the more I see them, I'm like, oh, displays. And yeah, so I'm totally feeling the vibes. There's something, when I walk into an antique shop, there's something about just the old and the new and the needlework and the eclectic person in me that just loves all the pretty things. So I'm going to show you the two I found. This one I done research on, and it is a breast cancer awareness edition. And so this little pin says hope, and I thought it was gorgeous. And then it has a lid on it, which I love, and maybe they all do. Some of the ones I seen at the antique shop did not. But there is the stamp that's on it. And then it has the liner. And I don't know, the thing is still even on the bottom of the liner. Remove label. Okay. Anyways, and then here is the bottom of it, and the person that made it, it's their signature. So I went and kind of got on, I got on YouTube, and I was like, I need to know the history behind this. I need to know all the stuff. So apparently the people that are the ones that hand weave these, because they're hand woven baskets, they sign it with their name and with the year, which I love that. And so this one was made by Ariel in 2003. So, and then I loved this little pin detail on this one. And if you see if you follow me over on Instagram, I have a perfect pair of scissors, and they're going to be displayed in there as well. And then this beauty, I loved it. I love the leather on the wooden button here. And it's in wonderful condition. So both of these were on sale. This one was 20% off, and then this one was 50% off. So I got this one for $11 and this one for $13, I think it was, yesterday when I went to a local needlework shop here in my town not needlework, excuse me, antique shop. It's the best one that's here in town. So anyways, the leather is in excellent condition on this basket. I'm going to turn it around and show you. I mean, no crack. There's regular patina, but no cracks. You know, some of them are falling apart, but the quality of this is amazing. And maybe that's why they were able to build that humongous basket factory in Ohio. I don't know. If you want to know more about these baskets, you should go look on YouTube, and find out the information, because there's some really neat stuff. But I am so excited. I am going to be using these for displays. When I'm taking pictures, I'll use them as photo ops, different things like that. So I have those. And then the next one, well, let me show you these. I found 2 tomatoes. I love both of them. They may not be as vintage as some of the other ones, but I do not care. I love them. If you know me, you know that I love tomatoes. When I see these tomatoes, it just takes me back to sewing with my grandma. And so my grandma loved to make Western shirts, and she would make really fancy ones. And so I tried to learn how to make those. That was not my thing. But we did sew together, and she would stand over my shoulder and tell me every step to do. So when she passed away, I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Well, I just eventually got brave and found YouTube, and just, you know, I'm still learning, just so y'all know. This is also new to me. But anyways, so this is one of my newest finds. And there again, if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this. But this swan is beautiful. Like, I have loved swans. I have them, like a ton of them, that I use when I'm doing tea parties. I used the antique decor for swans. But when I seen this one listed on Facebook Marketplace the other day, I was like, I have to have that. It was with a whole lot. Like there was, I think, 5 in the lot of them. I didn't want any of the other ones, but I did want this one. But the good thing is Amelia decorates her room in swans because her mom is an orchestra teacher and she loves Swan Lake and all the things. So swans are very iconic. That was Amelia's first birthday party, was in swans. Anyways, these antique buttons I found when we were at that flea market in the DFW area. I really do think it was Frisco. But anyways, this is 2 bags, and they were, I think, 40% off of that booth. So I got all of these buttons for $8. And so now I will say something about these buttons from any of the other ones that I've ever gotten from antique shops. They are so heavy. Like, I don't know. I know what I love. I don't know what they're worth or whatever, but I know what they're worth to me. And obviously I spent money on them. So, but I want to talk about this swan and what swans mean to me. And you may not want to sit and listen to me chat today, and if you don't, it's okay. But I just have some things written down because, I don't know, maybe I'm feeling just not, I won't say emotional, I am. But I have some things written down that they mean to me. So when I think of a swan, the first thing I go to is the story of the ugly duckling when I was a little girl. And that was me. Like, I felt like her, and there was nothing beautiful. And so the transformation that takes place in the life of a swan, I think from the time I opened that little golden book until now, I just love them. And so to me, when I see swans, I will go watch videos. I'm so silly. I go watch videos and I will watch reels, and I just love them. And so number one, I love that they're so graceful, right? They're beautiful to me, and they mate for life. And I love to watch a mama swan with her babies on her back, and she's just got her, her feathers over them, and she's protecting her babies. And, I can't help but think of that. But I just wrote this down. To me, swans are such a personal symbol of healing for me. They remind me of how God brings beauty from brokenness. And, my thought goes back to the ugly duckling. On the surface, they're just calm and they're elegant, but underneath, they paddle like crazy. That's what healing feels like for me. And they're graceful on the outside, but they're quietly fighting through underneath. And so I think of their little feet under the water. And, sometimes the whether it's a pond or a lake or wherever they are, that water may be very calm, but underneath we don't know what's going on. And sometimes that's how life is in all of us. And so I suppose that just with the storm, right, that we've recently experienced, my thought goes to the storms of life and how there are times that waters are troubled in life, and then there's other times they're just calm. And so I think about just how graceful swans are as they are protecting their loved ones, and they're just resilient, and they're elegant, and they're beautiful. And so when I see a swan, they're just not just swans to me. I love them. And so I have black and white swans that I decorate with depending on what kind of tea party I'm doing. And so, yeah. And then I also found this gorgeous doily that goes perfect under that little board, that little, what do you call it? Tray. So I love it. I love the color of it. I love the shape of it. And then the pattern is gorgeous. And so this is another thing I collect. If y'all could see my tea party closet and My antique finds. It's ridiculous. Okay, and then I have one other display piece that I want to show, and it's not new, but I have re-displayed it. And this is one that I found not too long ago at an antique shop here, and I paid, I think it was $29 or $39 for this, and it's gorgeous. And so I have a ton of wooden spools because I collect those. And so I displayed it in that piece, and I am loving it, how it's displayed. And I was at that antique shop yesterday, and the owner, not the owner, one of the booth owners, he's like, what are you looking for? And I said, I'm looking for, you know, needlework stuff, doilies, different things that we collect. And I said, I'm looking for wooden spools. He goes, like the ones you used to sew with? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I have a 5-gallon bucket of those I didn't know what to do with. And I'm like, how much do you want for them? And he's like, $20 for all of them. And I'm like, sold. Call me when you get them all together. So I hope that he remembers to give me a call. Okay, I think that's all as far as I talked about the buttons. Yeah. Okay, so as far as my antiquing, that's it. I want to talk about Happy Mail because I got Happy Mail yesterday, and my friend Erica over on Instagram, I will add her to my little description because she's precious. Y'all should follow her. She is building a house in Morocco, and they're fixing to move back over there. Her husband's family's from there, and so we always talk. She purchased the tomato Vera Bradley backpack. It was Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher's fault that she got it. So I was like, oh my word, I love it so much. So then she messaged me and she goes, hey, I have something I want to send you. She picked me up coral tomato Vera Bradley socks. If you know me, you know, first of all, I love coral. Like, that's one of my colors that I go to all the time. And I love tomatoes. So when she sent me these, y'all, I was just like, she loves me. I love you too, Erica. And then she sent me one of these, and she told me the name of it in her card that she wrote me, and I was like, is that a babushka? What is that? And she's like, you actually said it right the first time, so I'm gonna tell y'all what it is. It is called a babouche. So it is one of the iconic shoes in Morocco that they wear. And so this is a zipper pull, a scissor fob, or whatever you want to use it for. And I think I might use it for a bag pull. I don't know. If I find the perfect pair of scissors, it'll be going on those scissors to make me think of her kindness every time I see them. And then she also sent me one of these, and it's a crab because she lives in Maryland. And in Maryland, crabs are, how did she say it? They're the motto. So the motto in Maryland is for crabs. So she sent me the crab too, which I love. And so I told her, I said, that's going to have to go in a stitchy box because it's too cute not to. Okay, so I am going to go to finishes. I've actually been working, y'all. It's not that I've just been like not doing anything, okay? I have several of these that some of y'all have already seen. I don't want to show y'all those till the last. I'll start off with this one. This is The Lord is My Shepherd. And these were gifted stitches that were gifted to me. So a friend of mine, Debbie, she is the bag lady here in Texas. If you are in Texas, you probably know her. And she gifted me a little stack of some projects that she had inherited from a friend of hers who had passed away that was a stitcher. And so she chose some that she thought I would love, and I do. And so all I'm doing is finishing these. I didn't do the stitching work. I don't know the patterns. So if you know the patterns, maybe you can drop it down below so that other people can enjoy it. So this is The Lord is My Shepherd. I chose the infinity symbol and the heart because I love the Lord forever and always, and it's going to take me eternity to praise him for all he's done for me. So that's what that symbolizes to me. I made this counting pin. This is just some ribbon that I believe it was Kim the other day that gave me both of these. We were able to meet up on 4th of July, and I was able to give her her FFOs that I had made for her. And she gifted me a ton of ribbon and some fabric. And then I'm just using a black velvet trim on this. It's stuffed with polyfill and crushed walnut shells. And the funny thing about the velvet is, you know, it, no matter what, like, I feel like it pooches in different areas. Like, you know, and I put polyfill in there, but it's okay. I'm happy with it. It'll go in a basket. It'll be a gift. It'll be something. So Destiny died laughing. She goes, Mom, did you stitch Gandalf? And I was like, I did not stitch Gandalf. She takes a picture, posted on Instagram. Look, my mom stitched Gandalf. She didn't listen to me. When you have kids that are almost 30 and, you know, they do what they want. But I love it. I think it's a fun little finish. And maybe, you know, we'll be gifting that to somebody. Let me set that right there. Okay, the next one, there again, is one that Debbie gave me. It's In the Beginning, God Created the Heavens and Earth. And I don't know who designed this pattern, but it's so fun. And the back stitching or decorative stitching, whatever these are called, I don't know. I'm going to show y'all this. Y'all get up real close to your TVs or your phone. Look at this. How gorgeous. Look at that stitching 1/1. And I don't know how little this is. I would imagine it's one of the higher counts. I mean, it's tiny. It's gorgeous. Take it all in. And then on this trim that I just done that method where you shred the fabric. You just do a little slit and then you tear, and it tears straight. And then I just gathered it on the machine and made a bow to match. And then on the back, I made a little pocket with a little decorative stitch for my machine, a counting pin. And then on this one, I done the moon and stars. So I thought that one was cute too. So my thought behind this one is, you know, I may gift it, I may keep it, I'm not sure. But if I do gift it, I can tuck one of my little pokey tools in here, or I can make something else to go in here. That's the thing about being creative, is you can do whatever you want. You can do all kinds of stuff. Okay, the next one that I done, and I'm not going to get too close because I noticed when I was almost finished stitching that she had frogged, and I didn't realize it until I was almost done with FFOing, and I wasn't going to go back. I don't have the floss anyways. So seeing her little apron, y'all don't look too close. I'm telling y'all not to, and then do it. It's okay, because when it's far off, you can't even tell. But look at this precious little butterfly that I done on it. I just love that she's reaching up. So she had to be reaching for something. And so I thought a butterfly was perfect with their little basket of flowers. I'm not sure the designer of this pattern either. I done a crushed velvet, and then some crushed seam binding. And then I made this little counting pin and added a flower. Kind of reminded me of the flowers in her basket. I wanted to do gold because I found the gold butterfly, and her hair's gold. So I wanted to do the gold on that charm. In the back, I'd done this little floral from Hobby Lobby. And then I have added a couple of cute little zipper pulls that I thought would go well. I'd done the little Victorian looking hand with the bow, and then a little, it's one of the little ceramic looking heart earrings that I repurposed from Hobby Lobby, and stuck them in here, and they can be given as gifts, or I can just stick it in my stash. You never know. So I do love the way it turned out. This is just like a tweed fabric that came from Hobby Lobby. It's in a little a bundle. I think it was a 4 or 5 pack bundle that this came in. And then I did add the ruffle detail. I'm getting better, y'all. I mean, I was talking to, oh my word, I'm not going to remember her name. one of my girlfriends on Instagram the other day, and she said, you just have to practice. It's just like with everything else. And so just keep practicing. So it's getting better. I love that. And whether I keep it or give it to one of my grandbabies or whatever, whoever has it's going to love it because it's super precious. And then last but not least, my favorite, I stitched this. It's for market this year, y'all. I stitched it and then finished it. And it's precious. It is heart in hand and it is adorable. I love it so much. And I was so torn because I was watching Tara Sullivan stitches, or Tara Sullivan, whatever her name is on FlossTube. I was watching her FlossTube the other day and I loved how her finisher had done the little, the extra strip here. And then I was seeing another one and it was like strip here and a square here and another strip here, but on this little square piece somebody had another little stitched piece, and I just used some remnant fabric. So I thought, it's fine, girl, like just do your own thing. And so I love it when I talk to myself and have the best ideas ever. And so this was one of those. So I made this tomato. So I'm going to tell you a story about this. This is a wool felted ball on the inside, but it was the wrong color. And I did not have any that were this color. And so what I did was I took a piece of that wool blend felt that I showed y'all a couple of videos back, and I just cut a circle out, done a whip stitch around it, cinched it up, and you can see I've got a couple of little tucks, gathers. That doesn't bother me. Like, it's handmade. It's supposed to be like that to me. And then I had these little tiny wooden spools from Temu or Amazon or something. Maybe I did find some at a thrift shop one day, so it could be from that bundle. I'm not really sure. Anyways, added some green ribbon that I felt like matched. And then I used that green stripe. It's a 100 green stripe fabric. Some of that seam binding I got the other day at the antique shop. And then I made a functional pocket in the back. And then done some crinkled trim. And so then I added just these little charms and a cute little lace detail. And I am loving it. And you know what? Y'all are right. The more I do it, like the easier it's getting and the better I'm getting. I tried to keep stuffing and stuffing and stuffing, and even when I was afraid I was going to bust it, because y'all know that's what I did on my last floss tube, I just finally chickened out, and then I feel like it needs some more now. I will say my stitching on the bottom is still not perfect. I don't know. I keep practicing. That's why I like cutting the hole in the back, because I don't feel like I can make that look good. It's going to be on a table, or in a bowl is what it's going to be in. It'll be displayed. I'll make it look pretty. Nobody will know it's there, but I know. So it's a good thing these girls that have me doing these finishes do not care about certain things, because maybe if they don't like it, they can whip stitch it themselves. What is it called? It's called a ladder stitch. That's what it's called. But I love the way this turned out. And what I will say, and I mentioned this in my Instagram, is these eyelet stitches up here at the top are supposed to be, oh, what is that stitch? It's like where you go real far up. It's a little bit like this. Kind of looks like a teepee. Y'all are hollering at me. Thank you. Thank you for telling me what it is. Anyways, it's one of those stitches. I couldn't get it. I don't know what I was doing wrong. I need somebody, when we're at a retreat, I need you to show me in person how to do that. So if I don't remember, y'all remember, okay? Thanks. Anyways, these eyelet stitches here, I had so much fun doing them. And so much fun that I put them in a design that I just done because they're fun. And I put them here, and then I put them up here. And I had a lot of fun doing this. The only change I made to this is it's like this little coral floral motif, which I loved. but I just decided to switch it to this little scissors that Laura from Textile and Crafts in her stitch card, her little stitch card pattern she released at Market had this one on it, and I loved it, so that's what I did. I'm looking at it now, and I should have added a teeny tiny strawberry scissor fob on here. There would have been plenty of room. I could add a charm. I might add a charm now that I'm thinking about that. Y'all give me great ideas. Thanks. Okay, let me move this here. And then I only have one other one. Y'all, you've almost made it through this video. And I got this frame at Hobby Lobby. It was $8.50. You know, I asked one of the people in Hobby Lobby about these frames, and they said this to me. When Hobby Lobby makes your custom frames, a lot of times there's leftover trim or framing material, and that's what they do these out of. So that's why they're all different sizes, is because they basically are just using their scraps to make these. And so I love that for them, and I love it for us too, because we get them at such a discounted price. This is gorgeous. This is one of those stitched pieces that was gifted to me, and it says, "A prayer for you. I ask the Lord to bless you as I pray for you today, to guide you and to protect you as you go along your way. His love is always with you, and his promises are true. And when you give him all your cares, you know he'll see you through." And I love that. And it's going to go on my gallery wall. And I also have a second one that is the exact same, and it's going to go to my mother-in-law. So I will say I had this mat cut, and for those of you that do not know, they can do this this shape. And so at first he was trying to do an oval, and I'm like, I need you to do straight at the bottom and the top a little more rounded, and he was able to get it. It took him a couple of tries to get that mat cut properly, but then he cut two at one time, you know, different shades. So the other one I got is a lighter green. I don't have it framed yet. This is what the back looks like. It's for me. I just need to get some paper to go on here, and then I will get John to put the sawtooth hangers up here. We already have them from when he made me these. And these are a work in progress, girls. So I know it's not all that aesthetic up here yet, but maybe it will be. Oh, and I have one more thing. So I have a friend that called me the other day, and she's one of my besties that live here. And she said to me, "Hey, are you busy?" And I was like, "No, I'm at Home Goods. What you need?" And she's like, "Are you still doing tomatoes?" And I said, "Yes." And she's like, "I have the best present for you." She's like, "I was at Goodwill, and they have something for $3.99 I want to get you, and I want to bring to you." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "It's this little, like, little ceramic tomato." Okay. Y'all are not ready for this. It's massive. I think it's a soup pot, but I'm not really sure. So the reason I think it's a soup pot is because up here there's this little hole, which I done that. And so it's massive. Look at my head. Like, it's humongous. So anyways, my tomato loving heart was so excited to get this project. Y'all should see the mess I have. The things we do for FlossTube, right? My plans for July was to stitch Christmas in July. I wanted to do the little tiny mini Christmas ornaments that Erica Arnott done 2 years ago. I had purchased them. My computer crashed. I couldn't find the file anywhere. I emailed her. I never received an email back from her regarding that pattern. And so I was able to recover it off of that computer. A lot of stuff I wasn't, but that one I was. So I was happy about that. So I would like to stitch those. And there's a couple of other things that I have that I've shown y'all recently. but I don't know. I just have to have my head in the right spot. And right now it has been working on the things I've worked on. And I have a collaboration piece that I am working on. I can't show you because it's a market release. 3 designers collabed on that one. And it's going to be super cute. So I went and got this stuff day before yesterday. Another reason I have not been stitching is because I am teaching a class in September for Annie, which is Dirty Annie Southern Style, for her retreat. And so I've been designing the pattern and trying to get all the little quirks and things worked out on that. I showed a sneak peek and asked a question. I think it was in stories one day. My needles definitely haven't been as busy, but I will say, like, my heart's full. Like, when I'm designing, when I'm making pretty things, like, it's not that I don't feel like I'm not doing anything. And some days I have to be unproductive because when I do things, I do a lot at one time. So I will say, like, I know this video was a little bit emotional, and there's some of you that have been affected by the floods. I have a friend, Michael, that her house literally, her dad's house that they're renovating is literally right there on the corner of where the park is. And they were finding bodies there the other day. And had that house been fixed where they could go, they would have been there just like they were last year. So I'm thankful that they were not, because she's precious, and I know everybody that was in that area was. Okay, so I would just like to say, I'm looking at my notes. If you see me buying more vintage buttons or vintage things, it's okay. I love it. It's bringing me joy. I want you to know that I'm thankful that you have come and spent a little bit of your time with me. I mean, we've been on here over an hour, so I hope you got some stitching done. I hope that you will subscribe if you're not subscribed, that you will comment, and let me know what you're working on. The other thing that I want to address is in my Maggie May. I know there were several of y'all that let me know I was out of frame. I knew I was out of frame, but it wasn't until I was editing. It was a terrible video. I know that, but I'm new to this, and I'll get better. I need to stitch the little badger. I don't even know her name. Or I need one of my girlfriends to send me another animal cracker for me to finish so that I can do another video. So y'all just have to wait on the way I've done it. I'm not being rude. I'm just saying, like, I am doing my best, and I'm okay with that. And, you know, there's a lot of videos out there, and a lot of people have different styles of the way they do things. So, thank you for the ones of you that left a nice comment and weren't too hard on me. And I really don't think anybody was all that hard. But, you know, when a comment is made, like, you immediately are like, oh, that wasn't good enough. Why did I even post it? You know, all the thoughts start going through your head. And, you know, I just came to peace with it because I did my best. And I kept my word because I said I was going to post a video. So even though it wasn't the best video, I did do what I said I was going to do. I did post the video. And there will be more upcoming. I'm not too sure that I don't want to just finish animal crackers sometimes, because there's plenty of people that stitch them and don't finish them. So until next time, I hope that your threads are tangle free and every stitch you put into your project brings you joy. I love and appreciate each one of you. Y'all bring me so much joy, whether it's commenting here, engaging here, or if I'm seeing you at retreats, or you're following me on Instagram or on Facebook. Like, I really value your friendships, and I cherish y'all so much. The next few months are going to be slowing down a little bit, but we've got the wedding in November, so there's that. We were talking last night, and I've got to make a decision on a dress. Carnivore better do its job, y'all. I don't suspect I'm going to lose more than 10 or 15 pounds between now and then, and I'm okay with that. I mean, that's what shapewear's for. Happy stitching, friends, and I will see you again soon. Y'all have a lovely weekend. By the way, today is Saturday, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. I'll try to get this video edited and uploaded tonight. If not, whenever you're watching, I hope that you have a good weekend, a good week, and just value the time that you're given and make the best of today. Bye, everybody.